Hi everyone, my name is Ms. Constantino and I'm going to be walking you through today's mini lesson. This is the first lesson on oil in the Middle East. Now, when I say oil, I'm talking about oil, the fossil fuel, not olive oil or any other oil you use in your life, but the oil that might heat your home and fuels cars. So we use a ton of it in our day-to-day life, and I think you'll see that by the end of today's lesson. So real quick, just a overview for you on this slide. 81.89% of the world's oil comes from the Middle East. That's an enormous amount of oil, and it means most likely the oil that you are using in whatever way in your life has come from the Middle East all the way to Manchester, Connecticut. Now, you all have a copy of these Google Slides that I'm projecting here, and you should be able to type on your copy of the slides. So you'll see these little stop questions during today's lesson. Whenever you see a stop question, you have to stop and answer it based off what you're seeing in the slide. So right here, each black spot on this map, so I see this map right here, shows an oil reserve in the Middle East. An oil reserve is an underground pool of oil that can be extracted for human use. So, looking at this map, I see the Middle East, I see all the different countries named, and a lot of these black dots or the oil reserves seem to be in Iran, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, if I move my little face here, Oman. And I know this body of water is the Persian Gulf. So, the Persian Gulf area seems to have a lot of oil reserves, and it looks like there's even some in the water. They're not all on land, which is interesting. So for the stop question, I need to use this map to list 3 countries that have the most oil reserves. And it might not be perfect, but I can tell from this map that Saudi Arabia has many oil reserves. I would say the United Arab Emirates, or the UAE, has a lot of oil reserves. And one more just to name, I'm going to say Iran up here in northwest, or northeast, I'm sorry. Middle East has a significant amount of oil reserves as well. So I'm going to put Iran. Great, let's go to the next slide. So I have the same map here. This time it's explaining to me what that little number meant. I was wondering that. Under each country's name is their GDP per capita. That is a new term for us that we're going to use a lot during this mini unit, GDP. Now, we'll get into what that means more so tomorrow, but basically all we need to know for now is GDP per capita is the amount of wealth the average person in that country would have. So an average isn't perfect. You know that from math class. It combines all the numbers and then divides them by how many there were in the first place. But the average person in Iran, for example, would have 5,315 US dollars, whereas in Turkey it's 10,529 US dollars. But if I look over where all those oil reserves are and around the Persian Gulf, I notice that, wow, some of these countries have very high GDP per capita, such as Qatar. The average is $97,518. Wow. Very different from Yemen, which is only $1,408. Very interesting observations I'm making right off the bat. So for this stop question, I need to use the map to list the 3 countries with the most wealth. So which countries have the highest 3 numbers? Well, I'm definitely going to say Qatar because that one's very high. Qatar. And then I think the next highest would probably be Kuwait at 48,926. Oops, I want that one down there. Move that. And I need to name one more, the highest. So I really got to look around and make sure I'm comparing them all. I would say it's going to be Kuwait, which again is in the Persian Gulf. So this area around the Persian Gulf seems to be getting very wealthy off of oil. Now, we did these 2 together. Your task today is to go through the remaining slides, and a lot of them use this same map, so you're going to really analyze it carefully and answer the stop questions. There is a video to watch in the second to last slide, and I'll point out that there is an exit ticket at the end of the slides where I want you to come up with 3 questions you have about oil in the Middle East. Type each question where it says type question below, and then just explain to me why you're curious about that. Why do you have that question? If you have questions, reach out to your social studies teacher. Good luck.